You have still further to fall before you can believe. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta doing this thing, holding it down, bringing it to y'all raw with this street geek and nerd soul. Check it today. Respond React. We're going to be talking about Niobe. She is life. Now, Niobe, if you did not know, is the famous comic book written by Amandla Stenberg and Sebastian Jones, with the artist Ashley Woods holding it down on the illustration tip. To start off, I'm going to say that I enjoyed this book. Now, it's not really, I guess you could say, my style or right up my alley, but I do like the fantastical and mystical element that this brings. Now, Niobe follows a young girl who is what some in this book call a half-breed, and she's a elf slash wild elf that roams in this world where you're brought into kind of like the magical, the mystical, the fantasy, and she's running from something, but also running to something. The issue that I'm going to be kind of covering is just the first issue, and then a little speculation. By the time you get this, I believe the second and third issues are already out. So please be ready and feel free to chop it up in the comments with me below. Let me know how it's going. But for the first issue, it kind of starts out. She's on her own, and there's a voice speaking to her, and you can see she's kind of like recollecting or kind of like focusing on maybe some past mistakes that she may be running from and wondering where she's running to. She's approached by a group who one of the group ends up kind of attacking her or trying to attack her, and she runs further away from where she was already running, and ends up coming into contact with a new group of people that are even more, I guess you could say, mysterious, or there's a lot of kind of like a shroud and secrecy around these people that she comes into contact with, where she is seemingly going to begin to take her next journey about where she fits in this world, about how she feels about being considered a sinner, and her history and her past that she seemingly cannot run from. Now, she has made a couple of decisions on her own, where it says that she had given her soul to the untamed so she could live an immortal life with her beloved Hanario, I believe. Before her turning, she was mortal, but she was the elven kind. Essenial, I guess, those born with Powisian, and I know I'm brutalizing these names, but anyway, the devil had given her what she wanted, but in return she was cursed with a much deeper longing than love, which is a craving and insatiable thirst to drink the souls of men. But now I'm pretty sure this is something that she's going to have to deal with very, very seriously. And the people that she comes into contact with that are kind of like tribal as well, let her know very early on that she is not welcome. I like the pacing of the story, as we get into the story, I like the pacing of the story. It opens up and lets you know straight off that this is going to be a mystery. Her past is going to be a mystery, but this is going to be kind of like a fantasy, a fantastical element to this. And I think for those people, if you like things like a lot of fantasy, like like Lord of the Rings or something to that extent, like Willow, even back in the day, something like maybe Golden Compass or something like that, I think this can be right up your alley, and I think that you'll really dig this because I already like kind of like the mystery that they're bringing up, and I'm interested to see where they go with her. As far as the art, I am definitely digging how Ashley Woods is putting it down. Most importantly, I'm loving the separation between the backgrounds and the actual illustrated characters. I love how the background is played, and how it's colored and how it's washed. And then I love like the facial expressions when you get a lot of close-ups on the young tribal man, and even some close-ups on Niobe herself. The cover art, when you pick it up, is incredible, just so you know straight up. So when you see it, you're like, man, this is well put together, and this is a well put together book. I think that if you're into fantasy, this is definitely worth a pick up. I didn't feel bored at all. Whole time I was reading, I was like, well, who is this? Who is talking to her? Why is she, what is she talking about? Who are these people? So it's cool when you're continuing the question. I mean, of course, as long as they answer some questions later on, which I'm pretty sure they already have. But what I'm saying is it's never a point where you're bored with the book, at least in my opinion. You're always wondering, like, what's coming in the next page? Who are these people? Why do they matter to her? And things of that nature. And I think it was pretty dope, man. So I'd say Niobe, She Is Life, the very famous comic book that is not only created and written by a young black woman, but also illustrated by a young black woman. This is a definite pickup if you're into that fantasy. I think you should give it a shot. It's definitely dope, especially just for the art, alone. And then the phrasing that is said in here are some very, very poignant phrases. So I'd have to give it a thumbs up and say that it's definitely worth checking it out. You can check it out on Comixology. I'll put the links down below. You can also check it out from Stranger Comics as well, and I'll put that link down in the below so you can check it out. You also saw this issue featured on my Comic-Con video when I was kicking it with Sebastian Jones for a second. So, it's definitely it. I think this is something that is gonna hit hard, because even though I'm not into like the fantastical elements as much as like the superhero elements, I can already see where this is gonna be. This can be a very, very, very interesting and mythological journey with this young woman, and I'm all for it to see what it turns out to be. So of course, chop it up below with me in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know how this book is turning out, if you already might be on issue 2 or 3. And of course, remember, VA what up, LA what up, RVA you got my heart. And of course, don't ever forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.